Hi guys, so today what I wanted to concentrate on talking about is the idea that if we start to train weights and we do strength training, that it's going to take away from our BJJ time, and then that's going to end us up being a less good athlete than if we would have just concentrated on BJJ. So obviously we could talk about the benefits of strength training, but one of the things I want to talk about is more reframing how you approach this. So generally you are right, if that's an assumption. It will take more time in order to do your strength training than less time, i.e. if you add strength training on top, then it's going to take more time out of your week. But what's really important, in my opinion, is that we focus on the purpose of the strength training. So if our goal is to be as effective as we can in grappling, that we want to make sure that we are always kind of improving and pushing forward, being the best that we can be both on the mats and in competition, and strength training is going to be essential. And over this 14 days, I'm going to go into every kind of aspect of it and explain why I think it is so important. But in order to get the best out of our BJJ, if we need to do strength training, then what we need to do is work out how that can harmonize and how they can fit together. And it doesn't mean taking away time from being on the mats. So one of the things that people kind of have in the back of their mind is that if they're going to go to the gym, they're going to be in there for 2 hours, they're going to have to hit every body part, they've got to worry about their rear delts, and they've got to worry about their serratus anterior and all kinds of crazy muscles. And it's just not the case, especially when we're training with a real goal in mind and a real specific purpose, which is to improve our grappling. So long workouts have benefits, but they also have a lot of drawbacks as well. So one of the things that I like to do with my grappling clients is to get in and out fast and efficient. This could be anywhere between a 30 and a 60-minute workout. It would all come down to how you plan the workout. But if we're in there with timed rest periods, we're focusing on the task at hand, then we are going to be able to get in and out, and we're still going to be able to get really, really effective workout planned. So as an example, one of my clients, Ollie, tried to get strength and conditioning working for ages. It was very difficult for him to find the time. He had a really, really busy and quite hard manual job as well. So what we ended up doing was we took the two workouts that I wanted him to do in a week, which were both roughly an hour long, and we broke them into 30-minute segments. So this is something that sometimes people think, oh, is it less effective to break up the workout? What if I do this one day and this the other day? Not at all. If we've got a series of movements that we'd like to cover in a week, then as long as we can get them done, guys, and if that means that I can get them done by breaking them up, then they're going to be absolutely as effective. So what we did was we had 30-minute segments. Some days this would be performed before work, so it would be an early start. But on other days where we need a little bit more rest and recovery, it was part of lunchtime. So with an hour lunch break, it was time to basically go, hit the gym, and then come back, eat lunch, and get back to work. It was a little bit of a sacrifice, but the results paid off massively with improvements in physique and performance, and it also had no effect on his evening class training whatsoever. So it's little tactics and tips like that that's going to help from a macro view. But one of the important things to think about is on the micro view as well. So how exactly do you get in the gym and only spend 45 minutes in there but still get a great workout? So this is where we want to look at what some people refer to as specialized tactics. So things like drop sets, supersets, paired sets, myo sets, etc. Can take less time but allow us to push a lot of work capacity into a smaller window. So I'll give you an example of this. Some things we don't want to pair together. So what I wouldn't do with a client is pair two very heavy compound exercises, especially ones with like axial or spinal loading. So for example, I wouldn't pair a squat and a deadlift together. I would definitely keep those exercises on their own. However, you could be pairing a squat with a jump or a deadlift with a jump, for example. A bench press, potentially that could be paired with something like a row, so we're going to be working opposite muscles. So what we could do, just to give you an example of how this would look set up, we could go in, we could get our warm-up done, we could get our ramp done, we would then do a bench press. Let's say that we do one set of 10 reps. We're where we want to be, we're at the right weight. We would take maybe a 30-second pause rather than just rushing straight to the next exercise. We'd have a bar set up for rows. We'd then do our set of rows. We'd then take a 30-second pause, and then we'd come back to the start. So effectively after bench press, let's just assume that that exercise takes 2 minutes. You'd have had 3 minutes break as such from doing a bench press, although 2 minutes of that would have been performing an exercise. When we do it like that, guys, we're crushing that time down into half. So we'd have got through two big exercises quite quickly. So especially this can be used on things like isolation exercises. So if you were doing any accessory work, say hitting the biceps, triceps, maybe the side delts, forearms, etc., very, very easy to put these together. And I would even potentially do things like triceps, where I would move, say, from a bicep curl to a tricep extension to an abdominal exercise, and almost do it as a small circuit with minimal break in between. And what this has allowed me to do and allowed me to do with clients is really condense workouts. One of the other options is things like drop sets. So if you were pushed for time, you could do a continual drop set. So for example, let's take the bench press again. We've warmed ourselves up and we've got up to an effective weight. What we might do is bench press a weight for 10 repetitions, take a small 30-second window, remove some of the weights, and then do another set, aiming for similar reps. And we could do that as many times as we liked, maybe from 3 to 6 drops, and that would allow us to get a really good workout in our horizontal push, but without having lots and lots of rest periods and lots of extra hours, extra time in the gym. So it's really important, guys, that we reframe why we're in the gym. We're not just in the gym to work out and look good, although that will be a nice byproduct, but what we're in the gym to do is enhance our BJJ. So we have to think of it almost as an extra session. So just like we have sessions on the mats, we'll also have sessions in the gym. Once we start reframing it like that, it's very, very easy to make the time. It makes it a lot more productive, and we're not just kind of dragging ourselves to the gym. One of the other things then is to also make sure that the workouts themselves are efficient in terms of their time. So we're not really planning to exceed 60 minutes in the gym. We want to make sure that we're decisive with our exercises and that we go in with our head focused on the game. Finally then, going down to the smaller scale, the exercises that we pick and how we pair them together, whether we choose to do supersets, drop sets, etc., would make a big impact on how long the workout would be. Now, if you're panicking and you're like, wait a minute, Tom, I'm not really sure about all those bits and pieces, like I can't really remember them if I was in the gym, I got you covered. So just down below in the comments, I'm going to put a cheat sheet, and all that's going to be is a few of the tips we've talked about today, so you can save it to your phone. Next time you're in the gym trying to structure a workout, you could follow through, tick list, and hopefully you'll be in and out inside 45 minutes to 60 minutes. The final thing to talk about, guys, as well is everybody's busy. It will be difficult to fit extra stuff into your week, but one of the things that really resonated for me was going on my phone, checking out my battery usage, and then looking at how much time I spend scrolling Facebook, Insta, etc. Once we start to look at that amount of time, guys, and we start to also look at other pockets in our life where we might be kind of spending time, so playing on the PlayStation or the Xbox, I don't want to pick sides, watching Netflix, etc. Is it possible that we could pull 30, 45, 60 minutes out of those activities and apply them to the gym? If you can do that, you're going to see massive impact on the mats in a positive way, guys, and hopefully it will feel like we're making a more maybe productive use of our time. So guys, thanks very much for listening. Check out the cheat sheet and start making your workouts as effective as possible.